So I came across something pretty interesting on my journeys through the interwebs. It is Yatsune Miku. Now, for those of you who know what I'm talking about, please bear with me and do not turn off the video. For those of you who don't know, a little background information is required. Yatsune Miku is the name of a musical synthesizer application. It is derived from several real human voices, but it is synthesized and created into its own unique voice, and that was due to copyright reasons and fears of people thinking that it was infringing upon the likeness upon real people. So the creators of this Vocaloid, as it is known as, took a conglomeration of different voices to come up with this unique synthesized voice given the name of Yatsune Miku. Now, Yatsune Miku is the most well-known out of all the Vocaloid voices, but there are other ones as well for different ranges and pitches. And all of this I find really, really fascinating. And this is the cool part and the part that I really wanted to talk about. Of course, there's a lot of I wouldn't necessarily say controversy surrounding it, but a lot of people, who are familiar with this program, a lot of people are turned off by it because of what Yatsune Miku has become. As it sounds, Yatsune Miku is actually a name. It's a name given by the programmers for the voice. Like, that's Yatsune Miku's voice. But it is a program that has been used many times by many individuals. In fact, there are claims that there have been 100,000 songs made with Yatsune Miku's voice. And this is where I think the application is very cool, in that it gives a person who may not have the singing ability, the natural talent of singing, the ability to make their own songs. Granted, this style of music, which I'm not exactly sure what genre it would fall under. It shows you once again how well versed I am. And like I said, I don't know what genre it would exactly fall into, but it's definitely influenced by techno, electronica, and dubstep. So if you don't like any of those things, this is definitely not for you. And I'm not a big fan of it either, of this Vocaloids, but I do find the technology very interesting, in that the fact that it gives people like me, artists, trying to make a living and doing what they love, it gives these music writers a chance to come up with these songs and have this program sing it with something that doesn't sound absolutely terrible. Now, of course, there are a lot of people out there who hate it. In my perfectly honest opinion, I do find it a little bit annoying, but it's not horrible. Back in the day when people actually watched American Idol and you heard all those terrible people sing, it's not like that. It's actually, you can tolerate it. I find it tolerable. Of course, I haven't listened to this vast amount. I've only listened to maybe like one or two songs. Like I said, I find the voice to be a little bit annoying, but again, a part of that may have to be me being an American. Yatsune Miku was traditionally known to be Japanese, even though in the original development it was English and Spanish as well. Now these Vocaloid voices have been expanding for, it was once just Japanese, now it's English, and now they've actually branched out to Spanish, Korean, Chinese, and I believe there's one other language. So this is something that is increasing in popularity and will become more and more well known as the years go by. Now, you may ask, well, where's the weird part in all of this? You have a computer voice singing. How much is that really different from auto-tuning? And to be perfectly honest, it's not. There's stylistic differences and choices, and a lot of people hate it. Just like techno, just like electronica, just like dubstep, there are a lot of people who do not like this style of music. So that's one thing. However, there is a certain weirdness to Yatsune Miku, in that there are individuals that treat Yatsune Miku as an actual individual, when in fact she is more of a character. Yatsune Miku has become more than just a synthesized voice. She's actually become a character. There's comic books, there is visual representations of her. In fact, there are people who go to these Vocaloid concerts with this likeness of Yatsune Miku, who's supposed to be a 16-year-old Japanese anime girl with turquoise hair. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, if you do a little Google search, you'll find stuff on Yatsune Miku pretty quick. So there is this whole character and kind of image where it's no longer, when someone says Yatsune Miku, there's conflicting definitions of what exactly does that mean. Are you referring to Yatsune Miku, the application, or are you referring to Yatsune Miku, the persona, which also includes the application? And most people, especially people who dislike and loathe and hate Yatsune Miku, when they say that they do not like this, they're referring to the persona, and how some people have taken to defending her like an actual entity, which I will admit is a little weird. Although one thing I would like to put a note upon is that how really different is that as opposed to us getting our nerd rage on for certain characters. Like, no, character like this wouldn't act like this in this situation. I mean, we write fan fiction for certain things. I haven't written any fan fiction, but I know people who do. People get attached to things, and when they get attached to things, they defend them pretty vehemently. So this weirdness isn't really so different from us being attached to other more traditional fictitious characters. It's just that maybe what makes it a little more weird is that Yatsune Miku is actually a little more real, per se, as opposed to Sherlock Holmes or as opposed to Frodo Baggins or Harry Potter, in that she actually has a voice, she has a visual representation. Also, another thing that I think needs to be taken into consideration is there is a bit of a cultural difference. And I'm actually going to be looking down at this article so that way I don't want to misquote it, but this one guy of Jeffrey Kane of Global Post has argued that the phenomenon of Hatsune Miku is partially due to the love of Japanese for giving inanimate objects a soul, which is rooted in Shintoism, but also in the long tradition of karakuri ningo, I hope I got that right, or automated wooden puppets. Thus, Japanese are much more ready to accept a virtual character as human, and for us, as Westerners, as Americans, we find that a little bit unusual. Now, I do find it unusual to go and pay money and go to a concert to listen to this hologram of a non-existent 16-year-old anime girl singing synthesized songs. Now, of course, there are actual real people playing other instruments along with this computer program, along with this hologram. So I will admit, there is, I would call that a little bit weird. It's one of those things where, having done the research into it, I honestly, I find it fascinating, and I think it's really a better thing. It's one of those things, in all things use moderation, but it gives people who may not have the means or the money, or they may not just have the talents to be able to sing, but it gives them an opportunity to pursue a musical career, and I find that extremely awesome. And if this program affords them that chance, gives them that opportunity, that's just really, really, really cool. Now, of course, there may be a lot of other weird stuff attached to it, but you have to take the bad with the good. And I think this is mostly a good thing. Like I said, not particularly a big fan of the style of music. It's just me. Some people are. I just thought it was, when I saw some video of this hologram and did some research digging and found that it was a synthesized voice and it was used for singing. I got really fascinated by the technology behind it. It was one of those things like, huh. And then, you hear all these people talk about, yeah, Yatsune Miku fans are really weird and socially misadjusted, and it's kind of like, okay, why is this going on? I was just naturally, my interest was piqued by it. It's like, okay, this seems quite interesting. I'm fascinated by the technology. I wonder why people feel this way. Why do people like this so much? Let's just go on a little information dig here. So anyways, I thought that was interesting to bring to you guys. I know it's not normal stuff that I do, but hey, music is a part of media, and that's what this channel is all about, is all forms of media. Hope you found it enjoyable. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're staying warm in this wonderful dreary weather that I've been having. Don't know where weather is your guys. I hope it's better, but it's been about gray and overcast for about the last 3 weeks. So at least we haven't gotten any snow and ice, so I'm grateful for that. Hope all you guys are staying safe. You're doing awesome. And I have 2 more reviews currently in the works, so that will be coming shortly to you folks. So you all can look forward to that. Going to be setting up my channel more. Trying to make it look a little more professional. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the OutcastWriter signing off.